old heart impacts past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions. Fact, don't ask, grab reactions. Jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused. Call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now. Y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, whenever we last left off, we had Izuku Midoriya. He was told by Varus to go clean up and, actually, surprisingly, stop training for a minute. He found this to be quite confusing, up until he did walk outside and meet face to face the god of destruction Beerus, the man who has been sleeping ever since he was a child. Now, with that being said, Beerus has actually walked up to Midoriya and introduced himself, stating that he is the god of destruction, and he must be the mortal he's heard so much about. Yes. Hello, Lord Beerus. Interesting. So, I've heard that you had a particular power that not a lot of people would be able to use. Is that correct? Yes, Lord Beerus. Fascinating. I would love to see it in action. In fact, I would love to test your power myself. Alright, Lord Beerus. I'm actually quite curious myself. Now, the two actually do begin talking. And you can tell that, right now, these two are about to go back and forth with each other. And it's quite intriguing, as Varus has actually informed both of them that they should most likely be careful. If they are to fight in battle, then they would possibly rip apart the universe, especially at both their current levels. Now, with that, she does actually tell them to somewhat try and take it easy. And Beerus does actually tell Varus that they can at least attempt that first, as Midoriya actually does begin to power up, directly in front of Beerus, surprised to see the potential of a Saiyan. Now, the two do begin to face off, as Midoriya does turn Super Saiyan, this confusing Beerus, asking Midoriya if he's not going to use Ultra Instinct. I feel like that would be kind of a waste right now, Beerus. Besides, I want to see where I'm at currently compared to you. That power is still very weird. Fair enough. Midoriya rushing forwards, and going to attack Beerus. As soon as he does actually get in front of Beerus, he does feel something, going to bring up his hands to block. Beerus using his attack, sending Midoriya flying away, as he broke Midoriya's arm. Now, Midoriya actually does somewhat get back up on his feet, Beerus instructing him that that was actually very well timed. If he did not block that attack, he most likely would have broken a lot more bones, asking him if he can still continue, or is he not going to fight seriously? Oh, don't worry, Beerus. Midoriya bringing his arm up and healing it, saying that they can still continue. However, him going to Super Saiyan 2, and rushing towards Beerus, watching another power increase. Beerus quickly just beginning to dodge, and bring both fingers up to Midoriya's head to fight. asking him if he's really still going to be taking him lightly. And Midoriya jumping away, before actually powering up to Super Saiyan 3. Now, after that does happen, Beerus does actually watch Midoriya rush forwards and go to attack. And these two do actually begin to move around. Beerus actually just beginning to dodge, and lightly strike at Midoriya, it being quite apparent as to his power, actually praising the Saiyan for making it this far. However, is he really sure that this is all he's going to be able to do to defeat him? And Midoriya does actually begin to get a bit more pissed off, and somewhat enraged, as he does actually drop back down to his base form, watching as he does pull out a transformation. Midoriya's aura and ki quickly beginning to change, turning green. And Midoriya does actually begin to grow in size, along with his power taking another giant leap. Now, Beerus is actually quite confused, as Midoriya does rush forwards to attack. Beerus brings up his hand and going to block. And Midoriya does actually throw his hand backwards and throw it out forwards, directly smashing into Beerus' hand. A shockwave being thrown in every direction around the planet, as Beerus does actually inform Midoriya that that was all for Midoriya quickly just putting more force behind his hand, before, actually, Beerus' knuckles, it slips through. Midoriya is actually able to sock him upside the face, and land the first solid blow. Now, this did catch Beerus off guard, as Midoriya then simply just brought his leg up, and went to go kick Beerus directly in the stomach, before smashing him with the right hook. Now, Beerus was quite intrigued, as he does actually step backwards, telling the Saiyan that this is intriguing. What is this form? Lord Beerus, I believe that you would need to be careful. What do you mean, Vados? Well, I mean, if he does actually send out any attacks, do not let them hit the planet, or the nearby surroundings. I believe that Midoriya cannot really control himself in this state. I see. Now, Midoriya rushes forwards, at blinding speeds. And Beerus does actually go to bring his hand up, as Midoriya appears directly behind him, throwing his left hand out as he does actually try and punch Beerus in the back, who swings his left arm around and catches Midoriya's fist, swinging his hand around to try and attack Midoriya, who opens his mouth and sends a very large blast at Beerus. Now, they do continue the fight in this form for a few minutes, before Midoriya, after being punched away and enraged even further, does actually begin to lose more and more control. Beerus actually watching as Midoriya's teeth begin to get jagged, and his body does seem to be covered in fur, before he quickly begins to grow in size, and his hair does turn yellow. Now, Midoriya is quickly and thoroughly enraged, his power jumping up higher, and beginning to apparently seem to skyrocket. Beerus quite surprised, and very confused. Where exactly is he pulling all this power from? As power begins to resonate from around him, and the giant monkey does begin to go out of control. Beerus actually stating that the monkey boy, or the Izuku Midoriya, doesn't seem to be in his right mind, is he? Now, Bakugo actually does think about intervening in this fight, Vados informing him not to, and Kirishima actually does go to fly forwards and up into the air, to see if he can talk some sense into Midoriya. Now, before that can even happen, we do have Beerus, who is stating that this weird transformation does not really change anything, as he actually does bring his hands up and throw flicks. This slamming Midoriya in his giant chest, being sent flying down onto the ground. Beerus landing on him and informing him that he must not be in his right mind. Is he correct? Midoriya beginning to scream out in primal rage, and Beerus does inform him that he does have two choices: continue their fight seriously and gain control, or be destroyed. As Beerus does begin to power up further, before sending a light kick into Midoriya's chest. Now, along with that, he also does kick the giant monkey directly up towards the face, sending him flying even further away. Now, we do also cut to Midoriya's subconscious, or his psyche, where he's beginning to gain somewhat of composure. He can feel this power, and he's beginning to return to his senses, as he begins to regain control, and quickly begin to change. Everyone watching, along with Vados, who does see Midoriya turn into a brand new transformation. Now, with that being said, this is all quite surprising and interesting. As Midoriya, he looks around, finding it all to be strange. What happened? Where am I? I don't remember what was happening. Midoriya seeing the God of Destruction, as he quickly does rush forwards, and appear right in front of Beerus, before bringing his hand up and flicking him directly in his nose. This sending Beerus flying away, and catching him completely off guard. Now, Beerus does actually get back up, asking exactly what the hell is this. He just keeps going through transformation after transformation. I don't know, Lord Beerus. This one's a new one. In fact, I didn't think I'd do it so soon. Then again, I do guess I have the Namekian Book of Legend to thank for that. Because of it, I found this form, and your Super Saiyan God. Then again, would you like to help me test out my power now? I do feel quite strong. Midoriya powering up to his full power, and surprising everybody. Compared to Midoriya's Berserker Rage, he took a 20 times increase from it. Now then, with that being said, he actually does rush towards Beerus, and Beerus does actually rush towards him. The two getting a whole lot more serious, as they throw out a single punch. Midoriya with his left hand and Beerus with his right, as these two do collide. Midoriya bringing up his right leg and trying to smash it directly into Beerus, as Beerus blocks the attack and goes to throw out his right arm. Now, as soon as that does happen, these two just go blow for blow and begin to shake the actual universe. And you do actually have back on Earth, with Momo and Mina, as they are currently talking with Melissa, taking a break from their own training, as both these two suddenly look up towards the sky. You two? Are you guys okay? Huh. That's strange. Do you feel that? Yeah, I do. It's on Vados' planet, right? I think so. But that feels like Midoriya. When did he get that strong? You two? Momo, Mina. her shaking her hand in front of their face, asking exactly what is going on. Both of these two stating that they'll be right back, using instant transmission to quickly vanish, leaving Melissa there by herself, as they both do arrive on Varus' planet. And as soon as they do arrive, they are almost thrown away from the sheer force being thrown around, as you do actually see Midoriya and Beerus, both actually having quite a bit of fun. Midoriya throwing out his elbow to attack, and Beerus actually bringing up his hand and forearm to block it. This one colliding and actually cutting through the surface of the planet upon contact, as Midoriya actually just jump away, beginning to let out a large set of ki blast, before throwing out both of his hands in front of him and yelling out devastation. Now, as soon as Midoriya did yell that out, he sends out a very powerful blast, and sends it flying for Beerus. Beerus bringing his hand up and actually going to slap the attack away. As soon as he actually does go to do that, his arm does collide with it, and he does actually have somewhat of trouble, bringing up his right arm and pushing it to his left, the blast creating outer space. Now, as soon as that did happen, Midoriya actually did use instant transmission, appearing directly behind Beerus before throwing around his elbow and socking him directly in the back, spinning around and trying to use a kick, throwing Beerus down towards the planet, as Beerus actually does come in the Saiyan for his battle potential. However, he does want to still see that form, Ultra Instinct, yelling at Midoriya to use that ability now. And Midoriya does actually tell him no, this pissing Beerus off more, shouting that that is a direct command from his destroyer. You say that, yet you're not going all out yourself. What are you talking about? I'm taking this fight seriously. So should you, mortal. Yeah, I doubt that, Beerus. Within my life, I've encountered many strong opponents. And a recurring theme is getting punched, hit, kicked, or knocked to the ground. And I can at least tell you one thing. With every life or death situation I put myself in, I can tell that you're still holding back. So, Midoriya actually dropping from this form, and turning into a Super Saiyan God. Now, before I do forget, Doni910 created this art right here. This is not my art, but it is a very good piece of work, and I do want to give them credit for making it. Now, with that, Beerus is actually quite intrigued. The red hair transformation. So, it does seem like they're going to be doing this more, aren't they? As he does tell Midoriya, fine, he will play along. And the two begin their new battle, just going back and forth, and Beerus finding a lot more entertainment. Now, I know I said I was not doing power levels, but ironically I actually did scale Midoriya for this. Upon all of his training and everything I do have written down in front of me, Midoriya is about... what's the best way to say it? He's 8,000 times stronger than Goku was using this form. And that is shocking. Now, with that being said, Midoriya and him do continue to face off, and fight, as they begin to just start throwing punches back and forth. Now, the amount of force both these two are putting behind every single punch just begins to ramp up in intensity. And Everyone is watching in awe. Bakugo actually questioning if he should join in on the fight. And you actually have Momo and Mina watching as their Midoriya is fighting against an actual god and holding his own. Now, with that, Beerus is actually telling Midoriya that now is no longer the time for playing around and to use Ultra Instinct. Otherwise, he will be destroyed. Now, Midoriya does actually tell Beerus that he does want to enjoy this fight longer. He's the first person he's ever met who's actually not somewhat of a threat or evil, so he doesn't have to destroy them immediately. In fact, he's beginning to understand his Saiyan instincts more. He almost did it with Cell, and he almost did it with the Emperor. He was going to spare them so he can fight them later. But he knew it was at stake. So, as he actually does go to throw out a punch, telling Beerus, not yet. As he does actually throw out the punch, Beerus catches his fist, and informs Midoriya that that is not what he wanted to hear. Bringing his hand up directly towards Midoriya's chest, and him quickly stabbing Midoriya within the span of 2 seconds. And Midoriya, he actually does feel this amount of force being put behind his hand, as he actually does get sent flying down towards the ground. And he does actually smash down, before falling into his base form temporarily, before getting back up. And Beerus appears directly in front of Midoriya, bringing up his hand and saying that this should look familiar, as Hakai energy begins to form. Now, with that, he does give Midoriya one last warning. Take the fight seriously. And Midoriya actually does somewhat smile, before healing his own injury. And he actually does jump into Omen. Now, as soon as Midoriya does actually make this jump, he immediately grabs Beerus by his wrist, and throws him over and slams him directly into the ground, with such force, as he does turn on Master Ultra Instinct. And the two do begin to fight. Now, Beerus is quite in shock. Midoriya and him beginning to go back and forth. Now, these two, their fight, finally reaches its most intense point, as both these two do begin to go back and forth, and the shockwaves come off their battle now begin to shake everything around. In fact, the surrounding plants nearby are being destroyed with the sheer force behind Midoriya and Beerus' battle. Every time a punch is thrown, something is destroyed, and the universe does actually begin to shake. Now, with that, Beerus does actually compliment Midoriya. As Midoriya, he actually does disappear from Beerus' vision, him quickly moving and going on the offensive, being able to attack Beerus and throw in a few solid blows. Beerus attempting to dodge and block. Now, Midoriya is able to rapidly hit him with over 100 different types of punches. Beerus being able to block and defend most of them, and barely being able to avoid. However, Midoriya does land one solid enough in Beerus' jaw, and catch him thoroughly off guard. Now, after that is said and done, he does actually rush in, and go to attack Beerus, who does begin to throw energy and power all throughout around him. And this does actually seem quite familiar to Midoriya, who is beginning to dodge and move away, slowly getting closer and closer to the destroyer. Him coming in and slamming him directly in the gut as he actually just throw his body forwards, doing a front flip before smashing him downwards back towards the planet. Now, as that's said and done, him and Beerus do actually go rushing towards each other. And the two actually do collide fist once more. And that time, it began to shake the very existence of their universe. And both of them did actually somewhat take notice to that, quickly disregarding it, and continuing their own battle. Now, Midoriya and Beerus would fight like this for a few more minutes, until they actually do go to collide fists once more, and actually attack. Whis going to intervene. As soon as he disappears, however, you do actually have somebody who was unexpected. The Grand Priest, who bring up both of his fingers and moving his left arm to his right and his right arm to his left, is able to block both these two from having their fist collide. Midoriya, him looking very shocked, along with Beerus looking very frightened. Beerus jumping backwards and going onto his knees to beg for forgiveness, because he did not realize what was going on. As Midoriya himself actually does slowly bring his hand back towards him, and power down, saying hello to the Grand Priest. Ah, yes. Hello, Izuku. Wait a minute, you know who he is? Yes, I do, Beerus. And I must say, this mortal has reached quite impressive feats. Yes, I was sort of curious about that, Grand Priest, sir. How is this possible? I've never met a mortal who could match me. I'm not very sure. However, I am certain of one thing. One day he will surpass you, Beerus, and you will have to give up your title. However, for right now, you two are both forbidden from fighting each other. Now, this actually does catch Beerus by surprise, as Midoriya actually has someone to say that's fine. However, what does happen whenever they do need to fight again? The Grand Priest informing them he can take them somewhere special to fight, somewhere where they wouldn't need to hold back. However, he is going to have to try and make sure the universe is stable in peace. So, he does actually say goodbye for now, before quickly disappearing. And Beerus, he actually does somewhat breathe a sigh of relief, falling backwards and landing on the ground, as he does actually say that that battle did actually seem very fun. It's very limited whenever you can't go actually all out. Midoriya actually does say that was actually pretty good. However, knowing that he's on par with a god now, does actually give him some peace of mind. What exactly are you talking about, Saiyan? Well, I do need to protect my family. I see. Now, this is whenever Momo and Mina actually do come running up to Midoriya, and ask him about exactly what was happening, and who was that guy who stopped their battle. Oh, hey, you two. That was the Grand Priest. He's sort of, what was it? In charge, kinda. Anyways, this is the, God of Destruction. Both of them looking at the Catman, as he actually does have his stomach rumble. And Midoriya actually does take notice of that. His own stomach rumbling from their fights. Okay, it appears we might need to get something to eat. Now, Beerus actually has asked if Midoriya has any fancy food on his planet. Well, what is it? We have a few things here on your planet, but on mine, there's a lot going on. You know, I guess for satisfying my battle curiosity, I could at least treat you to some food? Beerus jumping onto his feet, and somewhat saying that that does at least sound fine. Meanwhile, within his head, he's quite curious about the cuisine on Midoriya's planet. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? This is all just a bit more curious. Now, with that, Midoriya, he does use instant transmission. And all of them do actually arrive back in Midoriya's house. As Midoriya's daughter, Etsa, is quite happy to see her father, asking about his insane power. Midoriya basically talking about how he was fighting with this guy over here, and her looking at the god of destruction. Now, Beerus has actually looked down at this child. Very weird. Strange. She appears to be... She's a half-Saint, am I correct? Oh, yes you are. Along with that, there's Melissa over there, my other wife, and Midoriya actually calling out for hope. And Beerus does actually meet her, finding her to be a bit more strange. She's 4 people put into 1. That should not be possible, correct? Melissa explaining some strange things behind it, leaving out the strange idea of time travel. Now, with that being said, Beerus is also basically getting informed about a few things going on in Midoriya's life. He's basically married to 3 women, is going to be a father of 4 kids, and is going to be the next god of destruction. Along with that, he's a bit more distracted by the cuisine on Midoriya's planet. Him discovering quite a lot of foods. Now then, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing night. I will catch you guys in the next part.